still feel like Carmelo Anthony is going to play on an NBA team this season.
do.
I feel like it's going to happen.
He deserves it.
And one of the places that was sort of like rumored and spoken about was him potentially playing for the Nets in Brooklyn. Shams Charania, my guy, he said that it is very unlikely that the Nets will pick up Carmelo Anthony. What do you think about this news?
Well, what it shows me, and I'm not going to blame the players, but also we always make sure we stress the level of power that the guys in the game have. There's some autonomy that goes from top to bottom. So ownership has to sign off on it. The president and GM have to believe in it. The coach have to be in sync. And then obviously that filters to the players. But sometimes there are certain players that could possibly walk into an office and say, really consider this. That would make me happy. That's one of the things that I feel like overall isn't necessarily taking place. For the Nets, what they have built and where they're trying to go, to me, without Wilson Chandler, there's an opportunity for him to play quality minutes and contribute. I think he still has some juice left.
I think so too.
And he does have fans in the New York metropolitan area that enjoy watching him play. So I am surprised that it didn't happen so far. But I will tell you this, the Nets have some really good young perimeter players that they want to give a chance to develop. We know about Dinwiddie, who they paid. I think Karis LeVert is going to play at an all-star level. Taurean Prince is going to surprise a lot of people. I got a chance to see him in Atlanta and making a three-point shot. So the Nets are an ascending franchise. I am surprised they won't give Carmelo or any other team give Carmelo Anthony a chance.
I don't think Carmelo Anthony is in training camp with the team, but after the All-Star break, he'll be with some team, that either wants to bolster their chances for the playoffs or try to get themselves into the 8th seed or 7th seed.
But here's the other issue. Being in shape, working out, and playing basketball in the league is miles apart. And so he got let go after Houston after 10 games. So basically he missed all of last season.
That's over a calendar year where you're not playing NBA basketball.
And so at some point, you don't want him, if he did get the opportunity, if he possibly put himself at risk for injury. So it'd be interesting to see how it play out.
Were you ever in the league but still too out of shape to play 35 minutes a game?
Too out of shape to play? In my head, no. But in Phoenix, I had to be.
I was about to say Phoenix?
I had to be. I had to be.
You look a little different in your Pacers years than that Phoenix year.
But one thing I can say, I got double figures everywhere I went except Phoenix.
There you go. Well, sticking with the banana boat, brothers. There is some reported mutual interest between the Heat and Chris Paul. However, the Heat want to see how the season goes. They don't want him in training camp, but they want to see how the season goes and then potentially put together a deal with Oklahoma City that would bring Chris Paul to Miami. My question for you after reading this is, what would happen early in the season for the Heat that would make them feel like they should make a deal for Chris Paul now?
Well, this is tricky. Here's why. Because these teams have done deals together in the past. And OKC has a couple of picks that the Heat hope to get back. And usually that's really tough to do. And that's the sticking point in my opinion. So for CP3, it almost sounds like the adage of if he goes out there and really plays lights out, then that changes the consideration. But OKC is in control of the situation because they have the picks and they have the player. So that's what makes this deal a lot more tricky.
The part that I don't understand about this report is, are they insinuating that the Heat play poorly, they would then pick up CP3? Or are they insinuating that if the Heat play well, they would then consider picking up CP3? That's the part I don't really understand.
All I know is this. I trust Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. And I love the fact that they have Jimmy Butler on their roster. I applauded how he handled his free agency. He was like, I want to go somewhere and I want to make my mark. Justice Winslow showed me some things last year. And if you add Chris Paul on the perimeter to go with those guys, that could be something nice. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
We will see what happens.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.